It's Halloween, and though I would love to go out, it's freezing cold and it's raining. Two things guaranteed to ruin whatever outdoor activities I might have planned. However, there's at least all manner of horror movies on TV. Wait, there's only a couple on. Oh well, luckily I've got Constantine to watch. Thank you, NBC. It's episode 2, The Darkness Beneath. In Hedwig, Pennsylvania, a clearly desperate for alcohol man called Lannis goes home to his wife where things get awkward fast. He's not having a good day at work and dinner isn't ready. Someone has to die to further the plot, and out of the shower head comes a stream of fire, instantly setting Lannis aflame. I guess Burning Man came early this year. Barbecue long pig. Sounds good. Cue snazzy opening credits. John's fiddling with cards, and Chaz arrives with gambling profits. John quickly puts the money to use, going to investigate the Human Torch wannabe. Chaz can't come because of a previous misadventure about a succubus and a derailed train. Sounds fascinating, but we can't see that storyline play out. Zed, psycho artist extraordinaire, is still hard at work, and John scopes out Hedwig. Do we just see him smoke from behind? Nice. Zed runs smack into her art subject rather conveniently, and John hits on her, all gung-ho until he sees her drawings. She's desperate to know who he is, but he's leery about what she could represent. Complications are something he wants to avoid. John imitates Batman and vanishes, but Zed's one step ahead of him. She snuck his wallet when he was busy. Score 1 for Zed. In the town bar, John cozies up to a miner getting the full story on Lannis' death. He's not the only one who's died recently, but the others were labeled mining accidents. In a stroke of almost unbelievable luck, John sneaks into a mining vein, looking for an answer to his knock. It near collapses the tunnel in a thunderous noise. Nosing in on the festivities after Lannis' funeral, John brings along a frozen dinner to the potluck. Way to go the extra mile, buddy. That no one notices is rather amusing. Snooping, he visits the scene of the crime and acts like a reporter when he's been caught by Lannis' widow. The end credits leave her unnamed, so let's just call her Widow. Her flirting makes John uncomfortable, along with the audience, and John's roped up by Thad and his mining employees as a consequence of not sexing the widow up. John confirms that Thad, the mine owner, knows something unnatural is going down. Like those in authority, he'd rather play dumb than face the facts, though. Looking to lick his wounds, John finds Zed in his hotel room. Booty call? Not so much. John's found out her name by using Zed's own trick against her. She wants answers, and John just doesn't care. Zed snatches his arm and gets a reading about his motivation, laying John bare for just one moment. Uncomfortable and probably a bit irritated, he makes Zed read the sludge he took from Lannis' bathroom. She is a tad traumatized, to say the least, but provides the next clue in the case. John flees the scene of her psychic vision, investigating an abandoned church. He really needs a thermos bath, dirty guy he is, and during it sees a spirit. I guess ghosts don't really care about privacy, do they? Zed tries the bar to find John, but strikes out, instead conversing with a former priest named Ellis, turned emo. Zed finds John in her place this time, and the two dance around the subject about who they are and what their past is. Unlike Zed, we already know what occurred in John's, but Zed's, unless you've read the first few Hellblazer graphic novels, is a complete mystery. After a mine collapse, John tries to warn a miner that things will keep going south if the unauthorized mining operation continues. He's picked the wrong guy, though, because he's the next victim, and the car fills up with muddy water, something with hands choking both the men. Crowbar at the ready, Zed saves the day, but only John survives the impromptu drowning/strangulation. John now knows exactly what's causing the deaths. Kablanai, usually a benevolent spirit that warns miners of danger, yet these are taking men out. Someone's taking advantage of them. Following a possible lead, Zed reads the ex-priest Ellis' bar stool, that sounded wrong, and they go to him, but they've got the wrong guy. Ellis doesn't have any grudges against the mining company. El Stupido Tad and his son go into the mine and are quickly attacked by a Kablanai. If they were so desperate to get work done, why couldn't they have paid the miners double? Cheap bastards. John's able to banish the spirit without much of a fuss, but then not so peacefully blows the mine up so no one else has access. Why they couldn't just wait to get rid of the one controlling the murderous Kablanai isn't really answered. I guess it was still an illegal mining operation, and that's a bad thing. John faces the Kablanai culprit and confronts Widow, wife of the flash-fried Lannis. Considering how non-weepy she was about the whole affair, it's surprising no one suspected her. John is in a sporting and forgiving mood despite how many men Widow's done away with, and offers her a chance to stand down. She, of course, doesn't. And John summons Lannis, now a Cobblenai himself, to drag her down into the earth. Bye-bye, Widow. At least no one has to pay for her funeral. Zed checks in on John, having drawn the Cobblenai that threatened his life. I guess she can only draw events as they occur. He tells her that no one who works with him lives long, except for Chaz, but that's apparently complicated. Leaving the question of whether or not he'll work with Zed in the air, John naps. We leave the sleeping John under Zed's watchful eye, but what's going on behind them is unknown. Does Zed just want someone to help her with her powers, or does she genuinely want to help John in his fight against the rising darkness? We'll find out in future episodes, it seems. A definite improvement on the so-called pilot, this episode really cements John's character and introduces a far more interesting, and directly from the comics, female protagonist. Zed was in a fair number of Hellblazer issues, returning 3 times total in the whole series. She immediately jumped into bed with John, but the TV show seems to be taking their time with this romance. They're both distrustful and are leery of letting anyone in. Judging from John's first reaction, that of flirting, he does find Zed attractive. It probably feels nice to play teacher, being the wise one to Zed's naiveness when it comes to her powers. I get the sense that Zed has been hiding away from humanity, not wanting to trigger any visions, using her art as an excuse to avoid people. I like the story. It was almost a classic murder mystery with some supernatural touches. I've never heard of Cobblenai before, but I'm an American, so that may be why. It's nice to see Constantine use an original monster instead of going down the same roads as supernatural Buffy or Angel. Hellblazer has its fair share of demons, and I have no doubt we'll see them again before long. What I don't like is the plot contrivance known as Liv's Trouble Map. Why does John need to consult it to find trouble? Can't he just be in the right place at the right time? It seems a little stupid to rely on a piece of paper with blood on it. That's another thing. Wouldn't the blood dry out and flake off by now? How does it retain its liquid properties? Don't say magic. That's too easy. The Darkness Beneath is a good Constantine outing and provided more than enough entertainment for me. I like the tension and suspicion between John and Zed, and think they make good partners. I rate this 4 out of 5, infinitely better than the previous episode, and a good sign the series can raise and maintain quality as it goes along.